Good evening, everyone. It is November 8th, 2023, and we have had. I know it made a little red candle on the screen there, but the way my team's backtesting this stuff, we would consider that a green session. Today's close is above yesterday's close. So that marks one, two, three, four, five, six, seven, 8 green days in a row. That also means we have not broken a prior day's low since Friday, October 27th. Uh, that has been almost 2 weeks. And today also putting in next to no volume. NASDAQ not able to take out the prior day's low. Also, I think just barely a green session. Again, next to no volume. Dow Jones was able to take out yesterday and Monday's lows, and also did not put in a green session. Russell continuing to fall down, managed to get into that gap close, couldn't really lift anywhere off of there. And putting in some decent volume, by the way. Nothing amazing, but hey, it's showing some sort of activity occurring as we sell downwards. Now, in the weekly outlook, I'd mentioned that Wednesday was probably, the first kind of time we could start looking for potential, for this to potentially start to roll over. And I think that's accurate. Uh, Wednesday has come. We tried to break down. We got a break of the overnight low. Hey, that was great. We broke the initial balance low. We even accepted below the initial balance low. But what I was saying intraday as well was that, and I might have said this in yesterday's video, was that, look, even if we get a red session, and it was looking like we were going to get a red session, even if we do get a red session, this thing is going to be really, really bid until we start getting structure and volume above us. And today, we just simply did not open there. We opened, we opened pretty much at the prior day's high. We didn't gap up. I think we didn't gap up. Yeah, we came about 6 cents from gapping up on the SPY on the ETF here. So we weren't really opening below any structure. So in that scenario, when you're not opening below any structure, below any volume, it becomes very hard to sell off. And that's what we got. We couldn't even make it to the prior day's low. Instead, we got this big ramp into the close and almost made a new high of the day. Just about. We made it back to whatever, 4,400, double O's. So now tomorrow, let's talk about this. So anyway, here's the S&P, here's the Qs, the Dow, and the Rusty. Tomorrow, 8:30 a.m. pre-market, unemployment claims. Maybe that gets the market moving a bit. This is going to be the big one that I'll be watching. It's the 30-year bond auction. As far as I know, the 10-year auction came in pretty good. The primary dealers didn't have to take a lot of it, which is good to see, I assume. 30-year possibly also looks good. That would send us further up. JPOW, again, I don't think he's talking about anything too serious tomorrow. However, when he gets on the mic, that caused some volatility. So in terms of how I imagine the day will be structured, 8:30 should give us some nice action going into the open. We should have a pretty nice open, I imagine, up until about noon. Some volatility will quiet down before the auction. The bond action will give us a spike of volatility. That'll probably quiet down about 1:30. Preceding JPOW. JPOW will give us some more action until about 2:30, and then we'll diddle around waiting for power hour. And I imagine by that point we'll have made some decent moves throughout the day, and we can expect a nice volatile power hour into the close. Now, let's get into the intraday charts. Now that we're all of 4 minutes in, here we go. Right now, the futures are trading. Here you go. 89.75 is value area low. Almost got to it. Value area high is way up here, 03.5. Right now we're trading below the prior day's close. All the trade below the close. I'm not sure what euros do, but in general, I'm thinking that if we're able to open below, let's throw up a 30 minute, maybe a 15 minute, there we go. If we're able to open up below, call it 85 to 88, am I able to make a little box here? Here we go. This looks good. Let's call it, yeah, if we can open below this. If we can open below this kind of chunk, 85 to 90-ish, open below value area low, open below where the majority of this volume has been done since kind of Tuesday's open. I think in that case we'll be able to flush today's low of the day at 43.75, which was last week's close, by the way. Be able to flush that, be able to flush the Tuesday low of the day, and I think we'll end up coming into here somewhere. Maybe I'll go ahead and point that out, something like this, okay? That's what I'll be looking for. Again, I don't think we're going to get any sort of monster ranges like we haven't been this whole week. Today was, what, a 30-point range or something? 32 points. Day before was something similar. Today, I think, had the smallest initial balance in the prior 20 days. So, maybe it goes a bit lower. Maybe something like this. Maybe you're looking at a range, something like that, 56 to 91-ish. I wouldn't expect us to have any sort of massive move down tomorrow. I think if you get that move down, we get a low close going into Friday. That's when you have all the volume and structure above you. That's when you can start moving down to whatever, 4330s, maybe even lower, 4300, all that sort of stuff. But for tomorrow, I'm kind of looking at it like that, right? Those are kind of my zones that I'm looking at. Something like this. Where are the Qs? Qs. Right now, similarly, I want to see, get rid of all these. This is going to be my pivot area, the IB low, hard to see on here. Where is the RTH? The IB low from, Tuesday? Sorry, the IB high right here, this white line. Lining up nicely with the IB low from today. Kind of this white line, maybe a tick or two shy. Lining up with the value area low, that blue number, 87. All this kind of lining up nicely. So if we break that, I'll look for us to break today's low of the day, get into kind of here. Maybe we get some temporary bids, but really I think the bids will show up around Tuesday's lows and whatever this is, kind of Monday's highs roughly, somewhere around there. I doubt we get much lower than that. Dow. All these charts look so ugly with all the indicators on them. This is my pivot area. Kind of last week's highs, Monday's high, last week's high, Monday's high. We turned around there, kind of made a decision today. That was our breakdown point. That's my pivot area. You break it, I imagine you break today's highs. You can't break it, I imagine we break today's lows, Monday's lows, and get into Friday's lows, which, to be quite honest, I don't think they hold. I think instead you get into this gap close. So, that's how I'm looking at this thing. I wouldn't really try and get ahead of myself on the short side. If we open below 85 to, 88, really, those are kind of the key numbers I'm watching, 85 to 88-ish. Where are you? Something like that. Maybe 91 you could stretch it up to at the highest, but really if we open below 85 to 88, I think that gives you the signal for a sell session. You finally put in a red session. We have not in the past 5 years had 9 green days in a row. Maybe it happens, but and I will lean towards and trade as though it will happen in the event that we open above kind of that 90, 91 number. Anyway, hope all that makes sense. Hope it helps. 10 minutes once again. Have a great night. Trade safe.